Imagine having the power to snap your fingers and usher in your omnipotent force of will to the universe. The power to make anything into a possibility, to bring life and death, to bend the very essence of reality, to manipulate the fabric of the cosmos. What would that do to a person? What price would be paid for such power? What if the Infinity Gauntlet was real? Well, let's find out. What's going on, internet, and once again welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. As per usual, I'll be your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch, where today we're going to let the Marvel Universe seep into our own reality as we curiously ask the question, what if the Infinity Gauntlet was real? Roll the clip. In Marvel Premiere Issue 1, which was first published in 1972, we were given an introductory sniff of the components that make up the titular Infinity Gauntlet. Originally, in its proto-incarnation, it was dubbed as the Soul Gem, but later the mythos eventually became fully expanded to the 6 Infinity Stones that we know and love. Or, well, 7 or 8 in some cases, but forget about that. These Infinity Stones were the Soul Gem, the Power Gem, the Time Gem, the Reality Gem, the Space Gem, and the Mind Gem. When combined, these 6 stones grant the holder power beyond comprehension, all conveniently kept in a sleek and stylish gauntlet. Hey, if you're going to eradicate half of all known life in the universe, you may as well look good while doing it, right? Well, let's find out what would happen, shall we? Hold up a minute though, question is, because before we do that, you know the drill by now. If you're a fan of this video, the Marvel Universe, stylish hand armor, or just Life's Biggest Questions in general, then please be a dear and hit that thumbs up button, as well as that subscribe bell so you can stay up to date with our latest and greatest uploads. Also, make sure to stick around all the way to the end, as I'll be reading out some of your best witty remarks of the past few days. On with the show. Now, perhaps the best way to answer this question is to ask, what would you do with the Infinity Gauntlet? Because essentially we're asking, how would you handle the burden of possessing the power of a literal god? They say that absolute power corrupts absolutely, so our first instinct would be to envision a world of tyrannical chaos if the Infinity Gauntlet was in the control of a single individual. But surely snapping your fingers and manifesting a shiny golden pony into existence isn't the gateway drug to global dictatorship, is it? Well, unfortunately, kind of, yes. Let's rewind a little bit though. In the world of Marvel Comics, the Infinity Gauntlet is nigh unrivaled in power level. Even abstract entities such as Eternity, Master Order, and Lord Chaos, alongside beings like the Celestials, Mistress Death, and Kronos, all struggle to comprehend the power of the Infinity Gauntlet. When the Mad Titan Thanos, perhaps the most notorious wielder of the Gauntlet, took up its control, his anger inadvertently turned into a wave of latent energy that sank the west coast of the United States along with the whole of Japan. This gauntlet is pretty OP, put it that way. There are only 2 known entities that possess power exceeding that of the Infinity Gauntlet: the Living Tribunal, which is the living embodiment of natural balance, and the One Above All, who is the ultimate being of the Marvel Multiverse. It's a good thing to know that there's always a bigger fish, but in our hypothetical version of the Infinity Gauntlet, who knows what powerful forces it would or could attract. But why would you care? If you possess the power of the Infinity Gauntlet, surely you wouldn't be losing any sleep at the slim chance of an advanced alien civilization hunting you down and taking it from you. You just snap your fingers and dust them out of existence, right? Wrong. Well, maybe the first few times for sure. You've got to keep yourself alive, but eventually, with all the infinite possibilities of the universe, you'd realize that dusting absolutely anyone is the worst thing you could do. When you have the most unimaginably powerful device in existence, the last thing you want is an enemy. For one reason, because the real problem with this whole question is the issue of omnipotence, more specifically the omnipotence paradox. For sure, you'd be more than entitled to snap your fingers and create your own personal ice cream planet and live there forever in joy and happiness, but eventually, somewhere down the line, you'd have to meet your own maker. The omnipotence paradox is best expressed in this question: can an omnipotent being create a stone so heavy that it cannot lift it? If it can create a stone that it cannot lift, then it would seem that it can cease to be omnipotent. If it can't, well, I guess it was never really omnipotent in the first place. That's where the whole facade of the Infinity Gauntlet begins to peel away. If we take the Marvel Multiverse as an example, time and time again it proves to be more of a curse than a blessing. If you know anything about the Mad Titan story arc, you'll know that things inevitably don't turn out too hot for him. Adam Warlock has a similar dilemma, but as an enlightened being understands that there are more powerful forces at play, and the best thing for everyone is to scatter the Infinity Stones into different corners of the universe keeping them in the safe possession of the most responsible adult. Time and time again, there's a reason why all of the Marvel storylines surrounding the Infinity Gauntlet feature some form of villainous figure. It's because absolute power corrupts absolutely, even if all you wanted was infinite ice cream. If the Infinity Gauntlet was real, you wouldn't want it. Trust me. Well, maybe just for a minute. Unfortunately, folks, that's all we've got time for in today's video. Cheers for sticking around all the way to the end. Before we depart though, let's read out some of your more creative comments over the past few days. First off, Mario Cole says, what if questions for answers? Whoa, dude, that almost sounds like a question that's too good to be true. Saucy Pillow says, I come to this channel when I'm bored. Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment, Saucy Pillow. I do too. And finally, King Poseidon says, bruh, what if the Infinity Stones were real? Please make a video to this question in the name of Stan Lee, man, please. Well, King Poseidon, I hope this one hit the mark for you. This one's for Stan. There we have it, folks. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button and we'll be seeing you next time. As always, I've been your host, Jack Finch. You've been watching Life's Biggest Questions, and until next time, you take it easy.